Hi. I thought it's almost Christmas, so it's time to get a little Christmassy. And so I'm the tree, there's a tree. We're all trees. Let's enjoy a little bit of stuff. We will get back to the movie reviews soon, I guess, I hope. I say so. I pretend. I don't know. I guess. Again. So you can see the stars. No, probably you can't because I need to go down. So, just too much stuff. Let me hold it up here. Okay, cool. Now the thing is, before we get back to the movies, someone commented on my subscriber video, and that was a pistachio mouth. A human who I don't know, and that makes me very happy that there are people who I don't know who comment on my videos, and it asked a lot of questions, or at least some questions, and I thought I should answer these questions because it's always fun to answer questions. It's not so much movie related, more about living in Japan, but I mean, when we started the original podcast, Compendium of Discomfort, or in German Compendium des Unbehagens, the idea was that we'd talk about all kinds of topics, and that would be the discomfort causing things. So why not talk a little bit about living in Japan? And if other people have more questions, or maybe about movies as well, I'm happy to answer them as good as I can. And so let's just read this comment and answer those questions. Thank you again for asking and commenting and being happy with the stuff that I'm doing here. I'm happy if people are happy with what I do. So, hello, Michael. Nice channel with cool videos on Japanese cinema. Thank you so much. I am interested in the life in Japan as a Westerner. Is it allowed to ask you some questions? Yes, it's very allowed. It's very welcome. It makes me very happy. So, number one, how did the Japanese people react to the election of Trump? Are there many Trump fans in Japan? Or are most Japanese people not affected a lot by the US election? That's a very, very big question, a very big topic. For me, like, my usual daytime job is being a language teacher. So most of the time I teach English, and so a lot of the people who I actually talk to are kind of interested in America. I mean, it's usually one of the reasons why people study English in Japan. So they tend to be more interested in this topic than maybe the average Japanese. I would say, from what I heard, I mean, a lot of people just don't care in general about politics, about Japanese politics or whatever. They just don't care about politics. That's one group of people. Then there's another one who reacted in the same way as many other people and were like, that's completely insane and crazy. How can you vote for such a human? And then I met few who were really happy about it, mostly because their stock or other investment went up and they can make some money from it. I have met very few people who actually say that they agree with his political views. I know there are some, but I haven't really met them. So it's very mixed, I would say. But from what I hear, most people are like, how did that happen? I mean, if we look at Japanese politics, that's nothing to be proud of either. Like, there's the same party, the same ruling party for most of the post-war time. And I mean, now there's a chance that this might actually change in the future. Last elections, they were very, very weak. But basically, that's nothing to be proud of. And I know many people here are very disillusioned and pretty much gave up on Japanese politics because nothing will ever change anyway. One reason why some people care a lot about American politics is this peace treaty that Japan and America have, and there's a constant fear of China in Japan, so people are worried about that situation because there's always some kind of trouble going on. And so there's always this question. Let's say there is some kind of armed conflict between Japan and China. The US would be involved in some way, or they should be involved to support Japan, and many people are worried that that won't happen, and with someone like Trump as a leader, they are even more worried. So that's one reason why, at least people pay attention and they care a little bit who's the president and what are the chances for support if there's any trouble with a country like China, or maybe North Korea. Like North Korea always shoots some missiles in Japan's direction. Usually they just go into the sea and disappear and nothing happens, but who knows what might happen. So that's a big issue that worries quite a lot of people, and that's why quite a lot of people aren't very happy about Mr. Trump being the president. So the people I have met, I usually just like, hey, I get some money out of it, that's good. I like money, and can't blame them for that. Then here, question number 2. Is Dubai chocolate also a big food craze in Japan, like in Europe? I haven't heard anything about that except from the news from Germany, so I have no idea. I don't think it's a thing in Japan. I haven't heard anyone talk about that. It just doesn't really matter. I don't even really know what Dubai chocolate is, so I don't think it's a thing here. Are Western horror movies like Terrifier 3 or The Substance shown in Japanese movie theaters? Generally, yes. The problem with Western movies that aren't like big studio movies is that they usually come very late, like sometimes 2 or 3 years later. So I think Terrifier might actually be a thing here. I'm not sure. I think I saw it somewhere in some cinema schedule or something. But yeah, in general, these movies come to the cinemas with a big delay. I remember this movie, The Lighthouse, maybe not a horror movie, but like a more independent film. I think it came like 3 years later, or a Midsommar, same, 2 or 3 years later. So yeah, there's a thing, there's an audience for that. But usually late. Next one. Have you ever been in a love hotel with a Japanese girlfriend or boyfriend? I want to quote someone who I can't remember it was, but some smart person once said, basically every adult in Japan who has some kind of functioning sex life has been to a love hotel. It's a very normal thing. People don't go home for that kind of activities so much. Probably because noise and stuff, it's usually not so comfortable. It's generally not a thing to invite people into your house. So yeah, they just tend to go to the hotel whenever they want to make a little love, and it's a very normal thing that most people do, and it's nothing to be ashamed of or nothing that's overly weird or whatever. So it's a very normal thing, even though there are some, let's say, a little bit more adventurous love hotels where you can try all kinds of play styles, let's say it like that. You can find some with old Showa style rotating beds and stuff. that's something I regret not having experienced so much, like the Showa-style hotels, because that was a crazy time when they had like water slides and disco rooms and all that stuff. I know one Love Hotel owner, and he got it from his father, and yeah, he said like this old stuff is just too expensive to keep to actually make it work, so he had to get rid of all the cool, funky rooms that the hotel used to have. And yeah, it's a little bit sad. There's some left that still have this kind of stuff, but yeah, you've got to look for it, and you might find them. Yeah. Do Japanese look down on Koreans, even though the massive cultural impact of K-pop and K-drama, or are they not such a big thing in Japan? K-pop and K-drama are super, super big. It's a very, very big deal. But the question is a little bit difficult to just answer, because like in every country you have some people who appreciate foreigners or people from other cultures and countries, and you have some racists and nationalists who don't. For example, just yesterday was the day when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, and the nationalists were driving around the city with their trucks and playing music insanely loud and celebrating and doing stuff, and it was so weird. Yeah, they can do that kind of stuff quite openly here, and it's not very enjoyable or nice. I have experienced some kind of discrimination as well, just being the police come to me and like, oh, you're a foreigner, show us your ID. That happens. Yeah, and of course there's a lot of stuff going on with other Asian people, be it Koreans or Chinese. Yeah, it's very sad. It is sad to say that, but it's a very common thing that people are racist to a certain degree, sometimes without even thinking that they're doing anything bad. It's just, yeah, sometimes they're scared of the foreigner, sometimes they are like just confused or don't know what to do. I remember I once went to a supermarket with a Chinese person, and even though my Chinese human, my Chinese friend didn't speak any Japanese, the staff just kept talking to them instead of me, who actually speaks a bit of Japanese. And so they were always asking them, and I replied, and it was super awkward. And yeah, I guess nobody would consider that racism here, because it's just like, oh, there's an Asian person, there's a higher chance they speak Japanese than me speaking Japanese, so they just do that. And there are many small things. I remember some advertisements for apartments where they say no foreigners. It's very common. Recently on the internet you could see more and more signs on shops where they said no foreigners welcome. Obviously just to reduce issues, because foreigners usually don't speak Japanese. We can't learn this very difficult language, you know. Yeah, so it's pretty ugly sometimes. Yeah, but it's very strange to say that all do that, because there are a lot of people who love Korea, a lot of people who love the culture. I know so many Japanese who travel there regularly, be it just for shopping because cosmetics are more affordable, or because I love the food, or K-pop, or whatever. Like, K-pop is massive here. They all love it, and yeah, it's like every country, it's very mixed. You have a lot of friendly people, you have a lot of really nasty people, and that's the same here. You can't just say, oh, Koreans are being generally discriminated or not. Yeah, some people like them, some don't, and would be nicer if everybody just was like, hey, they're just humans like we are, and some of them are nice and some of them are not nice, and I like the ones who are nice. Yeah, make it more like an individual thing and don't hate people because they come from somewhere else. Yeah, if you don't like an individual, I think that's totally fair. Everybody has some individuals who we don't like, and that's okay. But basing that on skin color, age, gender, or whatever is a bad thing. Good. Are franco-belgian comics like Tintin or Spirou known and sold in Japan? Western comic characters like Smurfs, Moomins, or Wombles known in Japan? I don't even know what Wombles are. And let me check. Oh, hey, I have no idea what Wombles are. I have seen them now and I don't know them. In general, yeah, some are famous, some aren't. For example, the Moomins are a really, really big thing here. You can buy Moomin merchandise everywhere. People just want to travel to Finland to, because of Moomins. And, but I think not so much in general. Like, I don't know if anyone here knows actually Tintin. I think the franco-belgian stuff is not so super popular. Of course, American comics, especially like the big superhero stuff, is a thing that happens, but yeah, I'm not sure how big it actually is. I would say compared to the Japanese manga market, it's a niche audience. With cartoons, it's very funny. For example, nobody here knows The Simpsons. They're completely like, maybe they have seen the characters, but usually nobody knows them. Unbelievable, I would say. It's very strange, but yeah, in general, not so popular except for some, stuff like Moomins. Super popular. Oh, of course, Disney. Disney is a huge thing. Everybody loves Disney. What I think is funny is sometimes I ask people like, what's your favorite Disney character? And they say Duffy. And I'm all like, what is Duffy? And Duffy is a teddy bear that's kind of a mascot for Disney Sea that only exists for the park and not even in any movie or whatever. And I'm like, how can it be your favorite character? It doesn't really have a personality if there's no movie or anything that tells you a story about it. So why do you like Duffy? And I always think of Daffy Duck, who's much cooler anyway. That's very confusing. And what I think when it comes to Disney, what's very funny is, for example, in Germany, like Jungle Book is a big thing still. Or at least like people from my generation really likes that movie, even though it was a little bit before. But here it doesn't really matter. Here, of course, Frozen is one of the biggest movies ever, seemingly. But I think the movies that are popular or were popular are a little bit different depending on the country. So, yeah, my usual answer if people ask me what my favorite Disney movie is always the Goofy movie. I remember having seen it, but it's a long, long time and I haven't seen it in ages. But then I can seem smart because that's a movie that nobody here has ever watched, and they should, because it's probably actually good, and Goofy is probably the one of the better Disney characters. So, yeah, that's something I always recommend, and then they can check the Disney Plus or whatever if it's there. I hope it's there because it should be there. It should be available and people should watch it. Good. Next one, we have 2 more to go. Do young Japanese women also get tramp stamp tattoos like in Europe, or are tattoos not as common as in the West? Tattoos aren't really a thing. It's a very, very niche subculture thing because it usually means that you can't go to the public bars anymore. because they have a very strict no tattoo policy. You can get in big trouble with your job, and you're basically socially a little bit excluded, because tattoos are a thing that Yakuza have, and you don't want to be in that kind of world. So yeah, most people just don't have tattoos. It's not a thing. And I've never seen a tramp stamp here. I've seen some tattoos, but no tramp stamp. So I guess that trend missed Japan quite a bit. Last one. Does a Japanese Elon Musk exist? That was the most difficult question here for me. And I came to kind of an answer. I found someone who has some similarities with Mr. Musk, and that's Masayoshi Son, the founder of the company SoftBank. He used to be, I think, the richest person in the world, and he became the person who lost the most money until Elon Musk topped that record recently. And he's another one. Like, SoftBank is a big telephone communication company, and he's involved in like hundreds of companies or like technology related. And he actually founded like this big successful company, so he actually did something for his money. And he is in this tech world, big thing, and I guess that's the similarities with Elon. The big difference is, as far as I at least know, he has the reputation of being very intelligent and quite good person. And I think that's not something anyone would say about Mr. Musk. I'm very sorry, Elon, if you didn't know that and you hear it from me, but you're not the most popular human alive. But Mr. Son seems to be very well respected, and I mean, he, at least his family, I think 3 generations, his family is already in Japan, but originally they're from Korea, and he's a very well respected person in Japan. So I guess even though there might be people who don't like him because his family came from Korea some long time ago, he's I think very well accepted in Japan. And those are the questions. It was a pleasure. If other people have other questions, I'm happy to answer them. And next video we're gonna get back to those movies, because movies are wonderful. Watch them all. You've got to watch them all. I actually went to the cinema quite a bit the last few weeks, and my knee somehow survived. It's not 100% good yet. I would say maybe 90%. I must be careful with some wibbly moves that I shouldn't do just now, but it's mostly recovered, and that makes me very happy. And see you in the next video. Bye.